we are live again. Welcome to the official introduction class to cynos and cyno jumping. It's gonna be. I hope I'm gonna be able to wrap it up in about an hour or something like that, maybe even shorter. What are we gonna talk about today? We're gonna talk about all the different types of cyno modules that are available in game. You can basically roughly state that a cyno is like a teleportation device, kind of like that. So one ship lights the teleportation beacon, and then the other ship that is able to lock onto that beacon teleports to it. It's not the official naming, of course, but it is basically what it is. There's 3 different types of these teleportation things, which we call cyno modules from here on. I'll quickly go over what they, what the specifics are, what they do. I'll also go over which ships can fit these cyno generators, because there's only like a limited set of ships that can actually light them. And then we'll also check how does it work? What do I do when I want to light a cyno? And then we're going to go over which ships can actually use the cyno beacon that you create, and we'll do some live jumping with a variety of ships. We are at the moment in the DO6, or at least I am in the DO6 staging area, so it's relatively safe for me to light a cyno here now. So I will be cynoing to C4C and back, because that's also pretty safe to do. Yeah, and then we'll also have some fittings that I can show you, of course, and I have some story time sessions in where I tell stories of where I failed miserably, and I can advise you on what not to do while cynoing. Sometimes I also share these what not to do's on Discord afterwards, of course. And afterwards we are going also on a little memorial trip. We're going to go to 1DQ. That is basically for APOC members only, because all APOC members should be blue to goons at this point, but the Atom Training Alliance sadly is not, so I can't guarantee your safety there, so you'll just have to watch me from the stream at that point. So that's basically it. If you have any questions or whatever, just ask them in between. That's all good. If there's some things that are unclear, just either type in the chat or just ask. Yeah. So
first question about the memorial service you mentioned. Wasn't it moved to Monday?
It has moved to Monday, yes. But I sadly don't have any time Monday, and I do want to pay my respects, so I'm just gonna fly over there regardless, because we've got a clear blue route towards 1DQ, so it's we can just go there. It's 19 jumps, so it's not the end of the world to go there, and it's gonna be pretty safe, I think. Or at least maybe we run into some enemy gate camp, but at least it's not going to be like a goon gate camp, because they're blue to us. Does that answer your question?
It does answer my question.
So we're going to start off with the cyno modules themselves. I'm gonna put them on screen here. We've got 3 different kinds. Basically, back in the day, it all started with this regular cyno field generator. Yeah, as I said, it basically works like a homing beacon, and then you can like jump towards the cyno, it's determined basically by the ship type of how much light years you can jump. I think like a jump freighter can jump 10 light years, and a carrier can jump 7, something like that. So that's basically what determines from how far away you can jump to the beacon. So back in the day, you were able to use these cyno generators on any type of ship. You could just take a rookie ship, put one of these on, go somewhere, light the cyno beacon, Titan would jump in, and boom. Those days are over, sadly. So they split them up. Your regular cyno field generators basically only work for well, they work for a lot of ships. You can use them for jump freighters. The Rorqual can use it. Carriers, dreadnoughts, super carriers, and Titans can use this one. Now you also have the industrial cyno generator that only works for industrial ships like the jump freighter and the Rorqual. The main difference here is that this can be put on a Venture or a hauler, and like this regular cyno field generator needs to be fired from, say, like a Force Recon ship. So if you want to use this one, you need like more expensive, more skill heavy ship, as in, yeah, this thing, you can just fire it from Venture and you're good. And then we also have the covert cyno field generator, which works for basically covert ops ships, and black ops battleships, Force Recon ships. You can even use it on a prospect, the covert ops mining ship, the one that can cloak, and you can use it for those types of ships. All of these have different times that activation times. So this one, for instance, normally takes 10 minutes for the as a cycle timer. The industrial one too, and then you got the covert one, which is only 1 minute, I think. If it's yeah, it's only 60 seconds. That also kind of depends on which ship you're using. If you're using just like if you're using like the industrial cyno on a Venture, then it's 10 minutes, and if you use it on like for instance a Falcon, which is like a Force Recon, then it cuts the time in half, so it's only 10 minutes, 5 minutes. So it's at that ship, it's also skill based in terms of how long it takes to cycle down again. These things use liquid ozone, which is an ice material basically. You see it as like some kind of fuel that is needed to power the cyno module. And it also depends again on which ship you're using and which cyno module you're using, how much fuel it uses. But most of the time, here it says base usage of 800 units, which is quite a lot. Here it's on the other one it says 500. And for instance, if we're going to look at this Venture here, which is in the back, we're just going to check the fitting, and then if you click on the info page for the fitted module itself, you see that it's 200 units in the end, which is based on, for this example, it's based 20% reduction bonus on the for the ozone consumption on the Venture itself, and it's also based on the skill level you have in this skill, cyno field theory, which basically decreases it with decreases ozone consumption with 10% per level. So that's a really good skill, of course, to train. You also need that skill for the cyno modules regardless. So level 1 will get you into the the regular ones, and then you need to train all the way up to 5 to be able to use the covert one. Yeah, we'll just start off with showing some fittings for the regular the regular the indie and the regular cyno. We got the Venture here. Venture is basically the cheapest ship you can use if you want to move a like a jump freighter or a rorqual. It's also very nimble, so you can just send it somewhere. It'll be relatively safe, and because it has the 50% ozone consumption reduction, it's also a really good option to use overall. The only downside to the Venture is that it can only take enough fuel for one activation, basically. If you look at how much fuel is in the Venture at this moment, it's like 240 units. as you saw before, it needs like 200 units to activate. So yeah, at that point, if you've activated the cyno, which it does last 10 minutes, but if you activated it, it needs to dock up again and need to put in some more ozone. It's also only able to fit that much ozone because it's fitted with cargo hold expanders and cargo hold optimization rigs. That's basically the only way to move enough fuel for the cyno. I think if you can even use the Venture if you don't have level 5, because I have level 5 cyno theory, of course, but if you have level 4, then you use like 240 units of ozone, so then you're just able to use it. So level 4 cyno theory skill plus the Venture, and you're set basically. The other way of lighting an indie cyno is by like using a hauler. I have one here. This is just like an example fitting. It basically just has the indie cyno fuel generator, and a cloak, and it's got some really it's heavily based on passive regen tank. This is also, if I want to use like a hauler, like a T1 hauler to use as a cyno, this would be my to-go-to ship basically, because it got 500 HP regen. Doesn't have all that much tank, but if there's some pesky little saber or whatever that's gonna try and kill your cyno pilot at this point, it's gonna be basically impossible. This ship doesn't have the reduction in ozone consumption. So if we look at the attributes page, it was 400 units, but then again, it's a hauling class ship. So as you can see, there's like how much is in the I've got like a couple thousand units, so I can just travel along and light cynos wherever I go, and you can take enough with you to last you quite some time. The downside to this is, of course, it's a lot slower to move. Venture is a lot faster, and it's this one, it's a little bit more expensive. least this version is. I mean, if you just buy the check one hole, you don't fit it, and you just put the cyno field generator on it, then it's of course cheaper, so you can do that. Yeah, and you can also fit the regular cyno on a Force Recon ship like the Falcon. We've got one here too. So if you look at the Falcon, this Falcon has like two different types of cynos fitted. Oh yeah, this is the regular one. So this one has the regular one fitted and the covert one. So it's it's able to do that. I don't think you can put a industrial cyno on a Falcon, but then again you don't really have to, because the jump freighter or the Rockwell can also link towards a regular cyno field generator. Now of course, as you've already seen, this Falcon is like 20 times more expensive than a Venture, so that's the reason why you would want to go with just an indie cyno field generator and the Venture if you just want to move like jump freighter instead of like a 250 mil Force Recon ship. This is of course again just an example fitting. I don't have fittings for all the Force Recons, also basically because I only use the Falcon, because if I'm running it with the resists on, I got really nice tank, like 100k EHP. Have I lost one? Yeah, sure, I've lost one in the past, but the tank is also held up sometimes long enough for me to dock in the station where I was cynoing at, so it's a good ship for that reason. Yeah, I just fitted some guns on it because I was able to, and it also scares people away, because if there's like for instance like a daredevil shooting you, or some Tech 1 destroyer or whatever, that DPS is just enough to, that they'll think twice about attacking you when they walk off. Yeah, and then we also have these other fittings here. I'll quickly go through them. The Prospect can also use the covert cyno. So in this example, maybe you've already seen it if you attended one of the other classes, but this one's basically fit up to be used as a hunting ship for like a covert ops fleet. Like this can be the hunter to catch one of your unsuspecting victims, and it just catches it, it lights a cyno, and then boom, entire fleet lands on the target. And the same can be done with like a blockade runner. Like, oh, this one doesn't have it fitted, but let me just fit one on there. There we go. So you can basically do the same thing with yeah, T2 industrial hauler. You can fit one of these on there too. Falcon, of course, that I've already shown, also has one of these, and the Black Ops battleship can also fit one of these. So this can also light a cyno, and then people can jump to that. It can also warp an entire fleet. I'll show you that too. It can, and has also a covert jump portal generator fitted, this one, so you can basically warp a small fleet towards the beacon. First thing.
Sorry, what was that module you just mentioned quickly?
The covert jump portal generator, which basically works in the same way as a Titan bridge module works. Maybe some of you have already been on one of the bigger CTAs in which a Titan is used to bridge like a 200-man fleet towards a specific system. Basically, the thing is, what you do, you light a cyno in the target system, and then the pilot that is in the bridging ship. So, for instance, this Black Ops battleship or the Titan, he links his ship towards the pilot that is using the cyno, and then other people can right-click either the Black Ops battleship or the Titan, and then they can say jump to, and then it will say the system that you want to jump to. I'll also show that a little bit later. And this basically works the same as the Titan module, and the Rockwell can also use a like an industrial jump portal generator, which is only you can only use that for mining ships, like mining barges and exhumers. That one I'm not gonna show during this training, but I will show the one on the Panther, this one. So at first I'm gonna show how lighting a cyno works, and then I'll give some tips and tricks on that, and afterwards I'll show you how it works when you want to jump towards the cyno. I'm gonna take my prospect here for now, because it has the 1 minute. Oh yeah, you can, yeah. This has the 1 minute cyno. You can also take the Falcon, which is 30 seconds, I think. But I'll use that afterwards.
Before you get in space, can I ask you? Sorry.
Oh, yeah, sure.
If I'm asking too many questions.
Oh no, it's fine. But ask
all
away.
all these fits, I know we have them here now. But for people like watching the videos and stuff later, will they be available somewhere?
Well, you can also just send me an in-game mail, and I can link them to you. I don't know, yeah, because they're just my own personal preference fittings, basically. It's not like they're doctrine fittings or anything, but yeah, and otherwise, yeah, maybe we can make what you call it, alliance fittings of these, but I think we only use alliance fittings for doctrine ships, I think, but we'll have to see. And otherwise, just either send me a message on Discord or an in-game message in Eve, and I'll be able to send some to you. But does that answer your question?
It does. It was mainly for people on the video.
Yeah.
On the video, I can just save them now. So for the people on the video, it's Serena Anderson.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah, and in general, like, you can just ask in one of the Adam APOC channels, and someone will have a fit for whatever you're doing, and will also ask you what you're doing, and maybe give you some more advice for your specific scenario.
Yep, so that is completely true. I'm going to move this ship a little bit over to the side here, just to demonstrate some things. When you're cynoing, it's I always use the tactical overview with the what's that called again? And with the tactical overlay on, because that's this one. That basically shows this nice, these circles. They may, if you just want to try and enjoy the view, they're hideous, of course, but I always have them on. Basically, also for this sole reason, basically, if you like hover over your modules, if it doesn't matter, if you hover over them like this, it doesn't do very much, but if you hover over your modules with the overlay on, it shows you the range in game. So for this instance, if I hover over the you know, the stasis web, it's 10 kilometers. This is a little bit less. But now if I hover over this, oh, where is it? It's here. If I hover over this cyno field generator, it shows the entire sphere. Basically, when you, I'll move it to the center a little bit more, then you can see it better. Basically, what you do is, if you activate the cyno, the ship that's going to jump towards you is going to land somewhere in this general area. So it's not going to be landing specifically directly onto your ship. It's like somewhere in this this sphere, you know, it's going to be in there. It's like 5 kilometers in you know, in diameter around your ship. And if you don't check where that they can land, you mean that this is fine, you know, it's completely unobstructed for anything that's you know, on the side. But if you, for instance, I'm gonna go back to where I was. If there's something there that is, you know, a collidable object, for instance, the sidewall of this keep star. So we're gonna, yeah, this is.
I mean, if you want to see someone move at 10,000 meters per second.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now it's. Yeah. This is a good example. So if you now look at this sphere, you know, it's colliding with the structure itself. So if you land at like the left side of this, you know, your ship, if it jumps and you land there, there's, you know, there's nothing going on. It's all good. But if you land at the right side of this, then you'll basically be teleported into a wall, and then the game will, you know, it's not possible to get in there, and then the game will eject you out of that location, and you could be like ejected at like a couple hundred, maybe 1,000 meters a second. That's not really fun if you're in like a very expensive carrier or dreadnought or whatever, and you just get catapulted off the structure. And if you don't have enough time to dock up, I mean, it all depends on how fast you're going, of course, but if you're like going 2 kilometers a second, you only have like a couple of seconds left to be able to dock up, otherwise you'll be outside of docking range, and then, yeah, then you have a potential problem. This also applies, of course, to stations, and I'm going to show you a really nasty station. This is I'm going to show you something that's called a kick-out station, and I'll show you why. This is like a Minmatar-based NPC station, and the exit to that station will most likely be here. Like there's like 3 big openings here on this side and a 4th one here. And now, if you go out of this one, this small one, it's okay. But these ones here, they'll be a little bit more problematic. If you can see the docking ring around this, and basically if you come out of this chute here, then you're already past the docking ring, and you'll be having trouble to move back and dock straight up again. The same applies to lighting that cyno. If your cyno is not lit, and you don't check, you know, what the exit, the sides are, if they fall outside of this docking ring here, then it may well be that the ship that's gonna jump towards you, it'll land outside of the docking ring, and then it will have to manually move in docking range. Now, a regular ship is, you know, quite nimble. Maybe you have some propulsion modules on it, etc. But for instance, a jump freighter, It only has low slots. It's really a slow ship. So if that basically lands like here, if it lands like at this exact location outside of a docking ring, then it's faster to warp it off to a different station and to dock there than to try and maneuver towards this, you know, the one you jumped onto and dock in there. So plus you also of course need to check that you're not colliding with any of this structure. The most safe or at least the most safe structure model to jump onto is, for instance, this one, the Caldari one, because the undock is straight here in the middle. And if you undock your cyno ship and there is enough space here in the you know, this in the opening, there is enough space for your cyno to light, and that you'll never collide with the structure basically. So this is a really safe one. There also are some Galente ones which are safe, like another. Yeah, so for instance, this one is also good because it exits out of the side here, like here. You will need to pay attention that you don't you don't light your cyno that it cuts right through this structure, because that also is a collidable thing. So if for any chance, you know, you light it and it cuts right through here, then you'll bump off of that. So just a general rule of thumb is just check where you're going to cyno towards, position it well, use that tactical overview, and then if you have a nice spot, I'll move the ship back towards the left a bit. So if you have a nice spot, you can just light the cyno. I'm going too fast now. So you can just light it. You get this very cool animation. So your cyno is basically active now. You can only activate it when you're in a fleet. You can't activate it just, you know, on your own. You need to be in a fleet to be able to do this. Yeah, the item itself also generates like a warpable thing in space. You can see it on the overview. It's called like a covert cyno field. So anybody in this system can just look at the overview and they can directly warp, you know, to your beacon. So you're pretty exposed basically. I'm gonna cycle it down already. You know, and then after the time it takes for the module, you know, the activation cycle, it just goes off again, and then that beacon, or you know, or that thingy in the overview goes away again, and then you're basically safe again. Using a cyno also prohibits you from tethering. I don't know why I'm not tethered right now, but if you activate the cyno, you will be able to, you know, you're not tethered anymore, so you're lockable, etc. Yeah, that's basically it for the, you know, the cyno module itself. You just turn it on. You can also keep it running, of course, if you have enough fuel, or you just decycle it and you know, it runs out and the people have already jumped to you. That's mostly what I do.
Docking request accepted.
So that's basically the cyno modules. They all work the same actually. I just shown you the covert one only because you know, it's only 1 minute to activate. The other ones are like 10 minutes at least, or 5 minutes with the Falcon. So that takes a little bit of more time. Does anybody have any questions about the creation of the beacon itself, so like using the cyno module.
You cannot light a cyno inside a pulse, right?
I don't know actually, because I haven't tried it yet, and I don't have a pulse right now to test it. I could.
I'm on my way.
Hmm?
I'm on my way to try it out then.
Okay. It could be that it works, but it could also be that you'll just get an in-game message that says that you're not able to use the cyno module because you're inside pulse shields. I think that's what you're gonna run into. That basically goes into. That was a good question, basically. Because that goes into a little small thing that I've forgot to say. There are times when you are not able to use your cyno, and that is, for instance, when a in-game effect says so. I mean, if we had an incursion in our home system the other day, and then the game itself adds an effect to a system that just basically says you're not able to use a cyno, so you won't be able to activate it. You can also install cyno jammers, which are basically also deployable structures, and it's not. I'll just search it in here. Eve sometimes doesn't like me. Like this thing, this is a kind of a permanent thing that you can just deploy in space. It uses up a tremendous amount of fuel to activate. You'll also need to put it somewhere near a structure, like a citadel structure. And if you turn this on, then there's like a system-wide no cyno thing in effect. So that's basically what that does. It's really good to use that if you're expecting an enemy fleet and you don't want them in your system, so you put that up. Yeah, so you can basically also use that. Yeah, and then there are sometimes other in-game effects that don't allow you to use your cyno, but you'll see that in if you're in space. I think it's time to try and jump towards a cyno ourselves. I don't have the Rockwell here at the moment. Oh, yeah, I've got the jump freighter here at the moment. I'm gonna try that first. I'm just gonna undock it. I will light a cyno on my other character, and then I can jump towards that character. I'll of course use the tips and tricks that I've mentioned, so it's in a safe position. It's not going to be colliding with anything, and I'll be jumping towards a regular cyno, but that's okay. Using a cyno also needs fuel. For this instance, it uses nitrogen isotopes. Each different race has its own type of isotopes. There are 4 of them. So you got nitrogen for Caldari, you got oxygen for Galente. I think helium is for Mar. Yep, and then hydrogen is for Minotaur ships. So if you're in a Caldari class jump freighter, you need nitrogen isotopes in order to jump. There's a couple of ways you can calculate how much fuel that you need, basically based on the distance. There's a cool website for that. It's called Dotland. You can use that a basically tells you how much jumps it takes and how much fuel you need. We're just gonna jump directly towards our cyno ship, and I'll then explain to you what has happened. Cyno is on now, and now I can basically jump towards that character in a couple different ways actually. You can either go to your fleet and click on the character there and say jump to member. You can also click here and then go to fleet and say jump to member. What I usually do is I click here, I just put the cyno pilot on the watch list, and then I can click here and directly say jump to member. And then the fourth way is to right click the capacitor, and then you can go to the jump to, and then the confusion hits in basically, because there's all these other things there as well, which are called cyno beacons, which can also be set up. It's like also a permanent thing, like a Citadel type module. You can anchor it. The thing is though, you don't really know if these things are you know, safe to jump to, because you're not there. You can't see if there's like an enemy fleet camping there or whatever. You know, the advantage with your own cyno pilot is that you know, you've got eyes on it, or you know, if it's a buddy of yours that's helping you out, then you know, please ask a buddy that you've known for a couple of days or weeks or whatever, just not some random person. You know, but he can say, well, system's safe to jump in, you can jump. So but it's also really quick to misclick, and this is very dangerous to do, and misclick and click on one of these, and then you're jumping in the complete opposite direction, and maybe you're jumping into a trap. So please.
Or a wall.
Sorry?
Or a wall.
No, because you need to position these like 1,000 kilometers or whatever from a structure or whatever. So that's it's really a deployed permanent cyno beacon. You can also use I'll show you those in a bit. You can also use temporary cyno beacons, where if you don't want to use very expensive Force Recon ship, I'll show those in a bit. But right-clicking the capacitor is, in my experience, very dangerous. Please don't do it. Please just add your cyno pilot to the watch list, click here, and then you say jump. And then you can already see in the inventory that the fuel is directly taken out of, you know, the ship. It's used the fuel, it's jumped now, and now we are faced with another dilemma, which is this: it's not unable to tether right away because you've moved, and that's basically this thing. You got a location change timer. So what you want to do is you want to spam that button.
Docking request accepted.
Really quick. You want to dock up as fast as you can, because you're not, you know, you've jumped, but you're not safe yet. You know, if you're not tethered, then people can lock you up, they can shoot you, and if they put like a warp scrambler on you, yeah, then you're not able to dock at all. So now we're safe, so that's good. Just, you know, remember to dock up straight away. You know, if it's an NPC station, you can just always dock up. It doesn't matter if you got a scrambler on you or anything, but you just want to dock up. That's what you want to do, you know. The ships that jump towards a cyno are really expensive. You don't want to lose them. This jump freighter might be, you know, it's not now, it might be carrying 10 billion ISK worth of stuff. You don't want to lose it. Just, you know, dock up. What happens is you got your jump reactivation time right off the bat. We'll see that even more when we jump a couple times across. That is the timer that you get straight when you jump, and that's the timer that says you need to slow down a bit, mate. You know, you've jumped now, you need to wait like a minute and then you can jump again. Okay, so that was the red timer. And then the blue timer is your jump fatigue timer, which is, you know, it's been around for a long time now. When I started playing, this wasn't a thing yet. When I started playing, jump range wasn't a thing yet, so you could jump from Providence to Delve in, you know, one jump. That was possible. Not now anymore. Jump fatigue timer basically tells you a couple things. It's like at first it'll tell you for like the next time you jump, it's gonna be like between 1 minute 13 seconds and 2 minutes that you can jump again. So it affects your red timer. And this thing is gonna gradually build up until, I don't know, something like 4 to 5 hours that you can get up to a blue jump fatigue timer, and then at that point you'll have to wait like 30 minutes before you can jump again. So it you know, it increases exponentially. What is cool to mention, if it's below 10 minutes, then it won't, you know, if you jump, then if it's below 10 minutes and you jump again, you know, the blue timer is going to increase, but it's not going to increase exponentially as much as, yeah, you know, as you would jump now. So if you have like a minus, like below 10 jump fatigue timer, you're basically good to go again. If you want to do, I mean, you're good to go again now, but maybe you want to jump 10 times, and then you need to like pace your intervals a bit. So, you know, if it's below 10, then you're good. Yeah, we'll light a cyno to go back as well, because that's what we want to do. But then you can probably see the blue timer change as well, because it will increase a little bit again. So I'm just going to undock another Falcon in DO6. Which you probably can see because I'm streaming it. Let's see. Yep. So we're good on the location. So I'm just gonna light it.
We still see your ship in C4C.
Oh, alright, okay. I thought it would switch to the other one. But anyways, I've already put up the cyno in DO6, so I'm gonna undock again. I still have this blue jump fatigue timer, but it's below 10 minutes now. So I'm gonna add the other cyno pilot. I'm gonna add it to watch list. It's got a different color. I can also just make it blue for this time.
And ships with jump fatigue reduction, does that just is that a like flat reduction to both the blue and the red timer, or how does that work?
I think that only works with ships that, because if you use like a Titan bridge, you also get a jump time. So I think it only works with that. Basically, I'll have to check that. But yeah, so the red timer basically is the same as it was the first time. This hasn't really increased all that much, although this is only a short jump. So it's back to 14 minutes blue timer now. And of course we want to dock up.
Docking request accepted.
Straight away. I think... Oh wait. Can't search things when we're docking up. The shuttle has jump. Does a shuttle have jump? Yeah. So a shuttle has a 90% reduction to that jump fatigue thing. So if you're using a like the Titan jump bridge mechanic with the shuttle, you'll have less jump fatigue. But again, I don't think we have that here. No. Oh, it does. 90% reduction in effective distance travel for jump fatigue, so that has it too. I think then this little guy doesn't have it. No. So if you go into, we can also try that. Why not? So we've jumped back and forth with the jump further, and that was kind of okay because I can jump again right now. But that's indeed because the jump further has that reduction to jump fatigue, and this dreadnought here has not. So if we wanna, we're gonna jump again now, because we can. So we're undocking, activating the cyno module on the other ship, and then I'm gonna jump right to that character as well. We're landing on the other side. Then we're gonna dock up again.
Docking request accepted.
So we don't.
Love that you called it Revelation a little ship.
Yeah, little ship. Yeah, now we're here. We've docked up again, so we're safe. We're going to look at that red timer. Ooh, you know, when we were using the jump freighter, it was only like 1 minute, 1 minute 20 seconds. Now it's 5 minutes, and when we look at the blue timer, ooh, you know, it's 1 hour and 10 minutes. So there's a big difference there, of course. So it's more difficult to, you know, move a dreadnought or a carrier or a super carrier or a Titan than it is to use, you know, a jump freighter to move, because that will, you can move that faster. You can also move it further away, because I think it shows you also in the it shows you on the attributes page, I think. Yeah, maximum jump range. It does depend on skills, because what's the skill again? I think it's even listed here. Let me look for it. Skills. Yeah, it's called jump drive calibration, I think. Yeah, jump drive calibration basically increases the maximum jump range for a ship. So on this Revelation, it is 7 light years, and if we're gonna look at the my rear, because I'll have to simulate the fitting, because otherwise it's not going to give me the intro with my skills. It is 10 light years, so that's a little bit further away. So that's basically yeah, the difference between those ships. Yeah, I'm just going to leave the Revelation here for now, because I also want to show you guys how to jump with Black Ops Battleship. Otherwise my my timer is going to be like so bad that it's going to take me like 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes to jump again. So we're just going to leave the ship. I'll jump it back another time. So this is what I'm showing you now is how to jump from like a safe space to a safe space. After this, I'm not going to show it to you, but I'll go in detail what you can do if you're not jumping to a safe space, because you can also just jump straight to some random location in space at a safe spot. I'll cover that too. next station, I'm gonna get my Panther, and I'll show you basically the jump portal generator, because I think that the covert cyno works basically the same. You know, you light it and you can send a ship towards it.
Warp drive
So
active.
we're gonna bridge a ship, and we're gonna move the ship itself, or a fleet. We can do that. That is the wrong structure. We need this structure.
Warp drive active.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab,
Docking request accepted.
I think, the same Falcon again.
Docking request
Show
accepted.
the you know, if you want to jump it towards a completely different system. So this time we are going to go in our Black Ops ship. And we're going, yeah, our timer's almost done, but should be good. Notice also if there's no cyno module active in your fleet or whatever, then this list is this jump list is, you know, it's clear. If there's like somebody in your fleet, doesn't matter who it is, if it's one of your pilots or another one, it will list in here. You know, you don't get this. There's no option to jump now, so then there's no cyno. I'll just keep the covert cyno on the other side running for a little bit. So the cyno is active now. So if I click on Mara Jade, you know, I can jump there again. But there's also this other thing here, which is a conduit jump. It's, you know, I mean, what's that? I mean, never seen that. No, but that's basically this module over here, which is you can use it, the covert jump portal generator, which you can basically jump over a couple ships at a time just by selecting that. You'll have to be within a certain amount of range. I don't know how much it is exactly, but I think it's probably 2,500 meters, kind of like that. So you want to be close by at least, and able to use that. So there's my Falcon. He's probably too far away, so I'm just gonna move
I'm pretty
over.
sure I think it's 5 kilometers.
Oh, 5? Okay, that's even better. So yeah, so
Jump portal filament.
Sorry?
It's like a jump portal filament.
Oh, okay.
No, a filament is 2.5, and the cyno I think is 5.
I thought they go up to 6.
Could be 6.
So yeah, we've moved into range of our pilot that we're going to abduct, because he doesn't know that he's gonna fly with us yet, but he will. Yeah, so again, cyno's still up, and we're gonna conduit jump to our cyno pilot, in which it also tells you how much passengers it's taking with you're taking with you. And now it jumps your battleship, plus it jumps the where is he? Oh, there he is. And it jumps your passenger. So now he is there, and you were there, and yeah, that's your cyno pilot, which I'm gonna decycle him again. This is kind of also how the Rockwell industrial portal generator works, but then you're only able to, you know, jump industrial mining barges with it. So you're not going to be able to warp a hauling ship with you, sadly, because that would be really nice. What we can do, yeah, I'm just gonna quickly warp this Panther and the Falcon we just launched. I'm gonna warp those back towards DO6. I'm gonna show you how that you can like bridge a cloaky hauler towards, like in this case C4C, so that you can see that you can like use like a blockade runner as a miniature jump freighter basically, but you'll sadly also need to have this you know, the Black Ops battleship as well, because otherwise you won't be able to make it as a bridge, but you know, it's possible. I'll just quickly dock up. I'll need to trade over my my blockade runner to my other character here, and we'll use the bridge function of the Panther, which basically works the same as a Titan bridge, but then again, Titan bridge can you know, can supply that jump service to any type of ship. So you can also jump an Orca with it, or a regular freighter, or you know, any type of thing. This is only for the ships that are able to fit a covert octocloak. I'm gonna trade over my crane in this example, and then we're gonna undock again, and because I don't need to jump, you know, I can just let the other character jump, because I still have that red timer, but I should be able to activate the you know, I should be able to bridge towards it, hopefully. Alright, move upward a little bit, as to not block the traffic. And I don't know actually, oh there he, oh he's all the way over there, okay. I'll just move towards there, because when you want to, you know, when you want to use a bridge, you also need to be close by the ship that you want to bridge from. So we're almost there. I'll already turn on the cyno again on the other end. Still got enough. So that covert cyno is running again on the other end. You can now at this point, oh, I'll need to move a little bit closer to him. Otherwise he's not going to be able to use it. There we go. At this point you can right click the character, and then you can select this option, which is called bridge to member. And then if you click this, it basically connects the Panther with the cyno module that is running on, you know, this Mara Jade character. And now it gives this effect. And now if I go over to my other ship and I right click Serena, I say jump towards C4C, and then the crane uses the bridge we set up, and it jumps towards a cyno, and the bridge also, I don't know, I think it's just what was it, 30 seconds or a minute, I don't know, it, you know, it goes down again. So So that's how you basically can do that as well. In this case, the Panther stays here, and the ship that you've just launched, goes over to there. Now, if you want to go over to the location where they went, yeah, then you need to jump again, which we can also try in a couple of seconds, because then we'll just jump it just as a ship alone and not use the the conduit. This also all uses fuel. This uses hydrogen fuel. Didn't use all that much fuel now, I think. But Panther, just like the Warpole or the Jump Freighter or any other capital ship, also has a fuel bay for that matter. Yeah, we're gonna light the cyno again, and now we can jump towards the cyno, just as solo ship, just like any other jump capable ship. And now you're on the other side. Yeah, this also doesn't have a jump reactivation. I'm just quickly gonna
Docking
dock
request
up.
accepted.
I don't think it has. Does it have any? No, I don't think it has any reduction to jump portal, jump fatigue. No. So now my, as you can see, the red timer is 12 minutes, and the blue timer is now 4 hours. Now, if I were to, oh, you can already see it. If I were to jump now, after these 12 minutes, then I would be at max jump fatigue, basically. It would take me a half an hour to jump, again. So that's the increase in the timers, which you've seen now as well. Yeah, that basically limits your amount of jumping each day. If you're using the Jump Freighter or the Warpole, you got this reduction in jump fatigue, plus they can go further. They can go 10 light years instead of 7, and then you're able to cover a long grounds. You travel a whole lot, and if you're using like well, for instance, the Panther, which is a small ship, or the Dreadnought, you'll most likely just be able to jump 3 times in a day, and then you need to wait. Or if you just want to wait out these red timers all the time and just want to keep on jumping, you can also do that. That was it basically for the regular jumping stuff. I'll go into some things about what absolutely not to do. Well, what absolutely not to do is don't jump when you're gonna be colliding with something. I'm not gonna show it to you guys now because I don't know what's gonna happen. But if you get if you collide with a structure and you get yeeted into space, it's not fun. It's a stressful moment. Another thing, always have a cyno ready to go out. In this instance, this is a very old kill mail. I was carrier ratting at that moment. I was doing a rock haven, which has a bunch of collidable objects in the combat site, and I wanted to just warp off the grid, and I collided on these rocks, and I wasn't able to align properly, and I got caught. So if you're out and about and using a carrier to rat, please always have like an extra character, be it yourself or a friend, at the ready, that they can light a cyno, and just as we did in the examples that I've shown, that you can just get safe straight away. It's better to lose some fighters than the carrier as a whole. So, you know, be careful that always, you know, have a way out for yourself. Something else that is a very good example of what not to do is trying to jump to a location where there is another unknown cyno-capable ship as well. So for instance, here I just wanted to go from Providence to a adjacent low-sec system. I undocked the I think it was just with a Venture. I think I undocked the Venture, and there was somebody next to me in a Force Recon ship, and I was like, well, I can dock off faster than he can light a cyno. Well, yeah, I tried and I failed. So just as I you know, launched my cyno, he launched his. The Anshar jumped in sooner, and then had a little bit of difficulties to dock up into the station, as Eve said, well, you're docking, but we're going to put you in like a semi-docking queue. So I was, you know, I did jump in range of the station, but it wasn't docking, and then the Nix landed, you know, this one, and he instantly locked me, and he had enough DPS to volley my Anshar off-grid with one salvo, and then it was gone. So that's also something of not to do, you know. Don't light a cyno if there's somebody next to you that you don't know. Always be careful of lighting cynos when there are neutrals or reds in system. I mean, we've been jumping from kind of the most busiest systems here at the moment, so like C4C and DO6. We've also been activating cynos from like at the undock of the Keepstar. It's going to be a really dumb pilot that tries to kill your either your jump freighter or your cyno pilot at that point, because you know, there's 50 people in one system, DO6 out of 160. Yeah, people will undock and they will help you, but there's nobody will help you when you're just out and about in a random system. That being said, if you want to jump to a random system, please have like a couple things fitted to your ship. I don't know if you've noticed, but each time that we jumped, there was a substantial amount of capacitor removed, because it uses like, I don't know, 70%, maybe even more of capacitor each time we jump. And then if you land on the other side, even if your red timer is gone, if you don't have 70% capacitor, you're not able to jump, because it needs that, you know, enable to use the cyno field. So at that point, would you always put on your capital ship if you can, because jump freighters only have low slots. You put these heavy cap boosters on, and you put I think I've used up all of the cap booster charges in here, but at this point you'll want to use the let's see, yeah, doesn't really matter actually with these if you use navy cap boosters or regular ones, because you only fit one in them. But you want to fit these, because if you land at some place and you're not able to dock up or tether on a structure to, you know, because if you're tethered, you'll also get your cap regen. If you're not able to do so, you'll need to use these to regenerate as much cap as possible in the least amount of time, and then you can jump again. And also, if you know, if you're just jumping somewhere into space, for like if you need to jump like 5 jumps, but there's like one of these systems doesn't have a structure that you can go to, then you could just try and ninja jump in there. Just make sure that you make a safe. You make 2 safe spots beforehand. You make one for the cyno pilot and one for the capital pilot, and then as you land, you know, if you jump, you'll land at your cyno pilot. You just jump off straight away towards your safe spot, and then you use your cloak, which, you know, I fitted here. You just cloak up, and then once your cyno's down, then you can cloak up your cyno pilot, because it'll be in a force recon ship, of course. And then at least both of your ships are safe, and then you can either just sit there and wait until the cap regens naturally, or you just decloak and you know, try and use the cap boosters. But that's the way how you can more safely jump into directions where there's not a system available to dock up, because, you know, if you can dock up, it's easy. Then your cap is regen to 100% right away. Yeah, that was basically the talk about cynos and cyno ships. So using a cyno, really easy actually. You know, you can take a venture, light a cyno, and, you know, that's it. That's done. Using a ship that can jump towards that cyno is a little bit more expensive, of course, and you'll need to train a lot more skills. But it's, you know, if you get the hang of it, it's really easy to use. Do always be vigilant in what you're doing. I once, I think that was 2 weeks ago actually, I wasn't really paying attention. I was doing too many things at the same time, and I had launched my venture into space, and I wanted to position it, you know, in a good location for my jump fitter to jump to, and I forgot about it, and I was doing you know, other stuff. Then I looked back at my venture. I wasn't really paying attention. I was like, well, I'm ready now for the cyno. I, you know, clicked the button to activate my my cyno module. I just undocked the jump freighter, jumped to my cyno, then I wanted to dock up, and then I noticed that I was 50 kilometers from the structure. And the whole time I thought that I had stopped the venture, you know, I stopped him moving, but he was still moving. He had been moving for the past couple of minutes, and he had been moving outside of docking range. And then I quickly needed to, you know, warp my jump freighter off to dock up in another structure. Luckily, it was in like a there was nobody else in system. But if there would have been people that were, you know, were jumping in, I would have had a very bad time most likely. So always pay attention to what you're doing with your cyno as well, and position it correctly, and don't bump off structures, because that's not fun at all also. Are there any questions about, you know, the modules or the ships? Just fire away.
Really, it's been pretty good.
Okay, cool.
How can you tell if a station will like bump you out without getting a cap to the station? Like in the case of NPC stations. Because I have seen a like the Galenta station with, that's like a ring with the dock in the middle.
Yeah.
But it all seems fairly close to each other.
Yeah, it does.
Like yeah.
It does, but if you let me get back into my where's my venture? My venture is not here. Let me get. Oh, of course I'm in C4C. Yeah, if you look at that, you can see it fairly easily. If you hover over the module, you can really easily see if it's connecting with any of the NPC structure. And then if that's the case, then you need to, you know, maneuver it just in a way that it's not connecting to any part of it. I mean, if it's close to it, yeah, that's okay. because you'll land in that bubble, you know. But if you're really connecting to it, if it cuts into it, then it's not good. But some systems are really a challenge here, and I think others are. For instance, if I look at Atlar, you got this Amar one, which goes out of the bottom, which I also don't really trust. I mean, it's all it's there's nothing there at the bottom, of course, but I don't really know where this docking ring ends, because you're not able to see like the end of the docking area at the bottom. You can only see it at the sides. So for instance, with this one, I would move to this location here where I'm hovering over with the mouse now. So I would just move slightly over there, and I would check that the bubble is like in this area, and it's not connecting with either, you know, this upper portion or the side here. And if it's just inside here, then you know it's good to do that. Yeah.
But if you undock like a roll call in that station, well, yeah, it doesn't really imply on my question, because
are you
like
meaning like kick out stations, or what do you?
Yeah, the kick out stations.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. Mostly the Mimitar ones are like that. So like the one in Bocina, which is actively camped all day because everyone just goes there because they want to pick up their asset safety stuff, and then they undock and then they die.
Yeah, exactly. That one is like obvious, you know, because the biggest chute just comes out to the edge of the docking ring, right?
Yeah.
But you also have like stations of Calente, which are like an outer ring, and you undock in the middle. But it doesn't seem like you can do anything, because when I undock in that station, I even bump into stuff with my DST, you know.
Oh, when you undock, you bump into stuff.
Yeah, but when I try to align to the next station, you know, and then you bump into the station, you know.
Ah, I don't know.
I get that with Caldari stations a lot. It's a pain in the ass.
Oh yeah. But that's when you want to warp to something and then it's in the way. That's basically it. But do you have an example of a Calente station that's like that?
Yes. And this how you write it?
Let's see.
If you look this name up, and then go to the stations, you will get one station. And that's the station I'm talking about.
But you undock here then in the middle.
Yeah, you undock like out of that middle part, that upstanding part.
Yeah.
And you see the little like the little thingy sticking out of there. That's the part where you bump on.
Ah, yeah, but the docking ring is quite large in here as well. But you can also just you can easily light the cyno at the top here, or even at the bottom.
Right at the bottom.
Or at the bottom here. You can even cyno in at the back.
Yeah, like the cynoing in, this seems pretty safe, but I'm more concerned about like getting out of there, you know.
Oh, yeah, but if you're in a jump capable ship, you don't want to use gates, basically.
No, this is the gate.
No, I know, but if you're undocking your jump capable ship, you undock, you stop the ship, and you just use a jump port. You know, you just jump it towards the next cyno. So you don't have to...
Now listen up, the outsticking part, like the small outsticking part in the middle,
that one? Yeah.
It's so close to you that when you turn with your DST down, you immediately bump on it.
Okay.
So isn't that too close for your ship that you immediately get kicked out of that ring, you know, if you undock for say a roll call? Yeah.
I don't think so actually. No, with kick-out stations, I basically meant stations where you undock and you're outside of the docking ring, because the exit of the of the station is outside of it. So I haven't tried it yet though. But I don't know if you're going to be yeeted into space. because you collide with this. I don't know. Most of the
Okay,
times, you only get yeeted into space when you like teleport inside of the structure.
Yeah. Right.
But the same is basically applies to the sun as well. You can't make
Rain, you're causing echo.
Oh.
You're causing feedback, Rain. It's fine now, but when Serena was talking, Rain's mic was kicking in. It's fine now.
The same applies with the sun as well. You're not able to make bookmarks inside the sun now these days, sadly, but you can still take a really fast ship. You can fly into the sun, and then you get yeeted into space as well. But you need to. I don't think you're just going to be yeeted into space if you move around. You're just going to be bumping the structure, basically.
Yep. So
exactly, it's more
as a
was more
game
concerned
dev,
about if you undock, you don't like collide into that structure and then get yeeted out, you know?
No,
because there's too little space.
Yeah. Well,
you gotta test it out, I hear.
Oh, well, we could test out because I'm looking at my my jump timer. Why don't we test it out? Let me move over my. I'll show you what happens when you do get yeeted out. Maybe it will show. You know.
You're not gonna do that with that station, right? Because
No. We're gonna. Where are we going? Oh, we're gonna go towards. Yeah, I'll move my cyno back to. Oh, we're gonna yeet 2 ships. That's gonna be fun. We'll try and yeet 2 ships at the same time.
Would you all like a quick explanation of why the yeet happens?
The yeet happens because you basically position.
Right. I mean the actual physics engine underlying why it happens. I can explain that.
Oh. But
so,
what's your question then?
It's not a question. I'm trying to. So the yeet stuff, the reason why it happens is when you intersect, the physics engine applies a force that is based on how intersecting you are. So those little like pipes that are sticking out on that one station with just a little bit intersecting into your oracle or something like that is only going to apply a teeny tiny force that's going to try and separate it. But if you were to, you know, get half collided or completely collided within, it's going to apply a lot bigger of a force, which is going to be big enough to move you in one physics tick from inside to outside. And so that whole like distance inside of the structure is actually how big of a force you get applied on you.
Yeah, that's true.
Can we take bets on how quickly he can bounce his rev off a station?
Oh, we're not going to use the revelation though.
Why not though?
No.
You wish.
No, we're gonna use the Panther. Because I think it also a bigger mass also gets bigger yeet, I think. So if I would collide with the revelation, I think it would be yeeted out at a larger rate, and as the the Panther.
Fastest rev in the West.
I'm trying to position the Falcon in a way that it's going to be very problematic for me, on purpose, of course. In the hashtag sentence, don't try this at home. I'm this is really going to be colliding with a lot of the Keepstar. Okay. Hopefully this is going to be spectacular. I've lit the covert cyno field. I'm now going to conduit jump both the crane and the Panther. And we'll see.
Loading up the spring, here we go.
What's happening? Oh, that's sad. No, because where did it? went towards the
Worked perfectly.
they landed in the lower section of the where the bubble was. They landed on the correct section. The one that was like 50% of the bubble is intersecting with the keep star, because it's it's really right there. So like half of it is in the structure and the other half is not. So in this case we are lucky. It could have been that we were not lucky and then we would have been yeeted into space. So sadly, and luckily for me, it's good now. I'm sorry.
Docking request accepted.
So this is an
Only because you were
example.
trying.
Yeah, this is an example in which it did work correctly,
Docking request
and
accepted.
you don't die. But
Docking
it could have
request
been
accepted.
way worse. Yeah, and I don't think that you're just going to be yeeted out into space when you undock. You'll just collide on it. That's it'll probably be like the same as that you want to warp off, and there's like an asteroid or something else in your way. So, is there anybody else with questions? I guess that's a no.
Where's the cricket Discord noise?
I don't know.
There we go.
Is that it? Yeah. Well, if that's it, I want to thank you all for your time. We've did it in just under 2 hours. It was a long sit, I know that. For the ones that want to join me, I will be going towards 1DQ. I won't be filming it, but I'll be going there. I'll be streaming it though, so you can still see it. I'll probably make a small video or something once I get there. I don't know what's happening there at the moment because the memorial service is basically postponed until Monday. But I won't be able to make it there on Monday, so I'll just go now. Thanks a lot. If you want to have the fittings, just send me a DM on Discord and I'll send them to you. Of course, they're all my own personal fittings, so it's not something doctrine or anything. I think the coalition uses a different doctrine covert ops ships for the covert ops SIG that we have. You should be able to go over to the fire auth page and you can go to groups and you can sign up for the covert ops blops group, which do weekly stuff. They use like stuff like that Panther I used, and Force Recons, any other bomber ships, etc. And then you conduit jump right on top of enemy people that you want to kill. So you can do that. Yeah, and there will also be. I think the revelation I used is doctrine fit according to fire standings. Yeah, there's some other stuff that they use as well. You can check that there. I don't have a carrier here at the moment, but you can of course also use that to jump to places. Yeah, and jump freighter fitting is it's only got low slots, so you either fit it with um, you know stuff that can go in there. It's not that really difficult. So that was it basically. I'll stop the recording for now, and I hope you join again next time.